Hello and welcome into Talking Bengals, the world's realest podcast. Because that's how we keep it here. We keep it real. And it's real off-season mode. But we're going to find some things to talk about. Got the crew here tonight. Bernsey, Nick, how we doing?
Just trying to figure out what in the world his cup says.
I'm assuming something about the Bengals. Welcome to the jungle.
Welcome.
See?
Okay, who day?
Figured it out. I like
Who
it.
day,
How about
baby.
them apples?
But,
How about them apples?
We're still getting closer to the draft. So we're not going to do our one mock draft episode because we hate mock drafts. Literally hate them, cannot stand them. It's pointless. They're never right. So we're not going to worry about it. But we are going to move into an interesting topic. So Bernsey, tell us what you found on your online search today.
Sorry, I'm trying to get situated still. So anyway, if you did a nice little Google search of a former Bengals player, i.e. DJ Reader, it would tell you that he currently plays for the Cincinnati Bengals. There has not been any public knowledge or announcement that DJ Reader has actually returned to Cincinnati. However, Google has more information than we do. So more follow.
Because there's no better way to fix a problem than by adding another problem. Why not?
I mean, if we would have re-signed him a couple years ago before, we let him go and sign with Detroit, I would have probably feel a little bit better about that. But this isn't 2023 or 24 or whatever year it was. This is 2026. There's plenty of other players out there. I don't know, maybe like Sexy Dexy, maybe?
Not really sure what you're doing there, but, okay.
You've never seen the Sexy Dexy? Dexter Lawrence requesting a trade out of the Giants?
No.
It was literally one of T. Higgins' celebrations in the Pro Bowl.
There's a Pro Bowl?
I mean, yes.
I didn't know. Since they stopped tackling each other, I don't consider there to be a Pro Bowl anymore.
I have a correction. I have a correction to what Bernsey is saying.
Uh-oh.
What?
There is nothing on the Google that shows me that DJ Reader plays for the Bengals. I literally typed in DJ Reader. Nothing. Shows his most current team that he plays for was the Detroit Lions.
Oh, they changed it. I have a screenshot.
I think Burns is just trying to find topics. Yep,
he's literally photoshopping things.
Look,
you can make things up.
That's a picture. That's a picture of me and our guy from Locked On Reds. Hold on, stop. Look, this is my search. That is a picture of me, our Locked On Reds guy Tim Daniel, and our friend Kyle at opening day in 2012. So this is my Google account, and it says DJ Reader, current team, Cincinnati Bengals. I don't know why it said that, but for about 3 hours today, that is what popped up when you searched it up. Now it's down. It says education, which is Grimsley High School.
Anyone's a Clemson.
So Google just seems like it doesn't know what it's doing. We did sign a couple defensive backs in the last week, so I mean, Bernsey got the names on those wonderful defensive backs, then we'll let Nick say what he thinks about them because we know he played safety and corner at some point in his life, which never happened.
Literally never.
Yeah, just keep talking because it's going to take me a second to pull it back up.
Positions that Nick hasn't played in football. Defensive back, safety.
Literally corner, safety. I played wide receiver when I played in like a slot wide out. And a couple formations.
Was it a slot wide out or was it a tight end in the slot?
That's like a Mike Gesicki.
Yeah, okay. I was about to say I would never look at you and be like, that's a wide receiver. I'd be like, yeah, that's a tight end that's not tight. Okay.
In my younger days, I could somewhat run.
Was that when you played for the Longhorns? Is that when you played for the Longhorns?
I never played for the Longhorns, buddy. I played for the Cats.
That's right.
Super Bowl.
I forgot. You were Cats.
Yeah.
Our good friend Joey Lyons played for the Longhorns, who tried to get me. He tried to recruit me.
if we did rings like these kids nowadays do, I would have 2 rings for Super Bowls.
Oh, were the Cats 7th and 8th grade, or was that just 6th grade, like 5th and
7th and 8th grade?
I don't know. They weren't a 7th and 8th grade team that I remember when I was in 7th and 8th grade, but this is not a former Boone County Pee Wee football teams that no longer exist discussion, I guess. But we could go into that if we want to. I mean, why not?
Now the Boone County Pee Wee football. Now the Boone County Pee Wee football is just turned into one organization that plays as the Rebels.
Well, then you also have the Raiders. I don't know if Connor started one or not, but yeah,
they have one.
Yeah, well, so you basically where it used to be, you could play with anybody in the county. You know, you make friendships with guys that go to different schools. Now it's like if you don't like the people you go to school with, you're screwed.
Yeah, you're going to play with them the rest of your life.
Yeah, your school sucks. You're just that way. That's how it is. You can't ever find a new team, which I guess is good if you're trying to be a feeder system for the high school. But if you haven't seen Northern Kentucky high schools, they're not really that great. They're fine. But
there's about 3 schools that you want to play for. Maybe 4.
Islands, Cupcath, maybe Beechwood. Oh, and Cooper.
Oh, I was going to say Cooper. And then Riles would be a 5th, I guess. It would, and that's painful to say. Because one time Boone County was the school, and then Cooper came along and got a lot of the talented kids, if you will.
Yeah. Yeah, that seems fair. That seems fair. But Burnsy, who are our new defensive backs?
Yeah, so in the last week, we have signed Jasir Taylor, who is a former Charger. Okay. And then safety, Kyle Duggar, formerly of the Pittsburgh Steelers and the New England Patriots. Not a bad move there. Yeah, adding depth. I'm good with that. And then everything that I've seen of lately when Casey's favorite topic of mock drafts is that either it's Ruben Bain or it's Caleb Downs. So if it's Caleb Downs, that's another guy that we can add to the depth. So I'm here for it.
I mean, I'm going to say the only thing I don't understand at this point is we've made a lot of adjustments on the line. We've made a lot of adjustments in the secondary now, or, depth or anything, any which way you want to look at it. We've made something happen. We ain't done crap for linebackers, except for bring back what's his face from the Eagles, who
Giles Harris.
No,
Keith Rivers,
Dr. Hayward,
Orrin Burks. There we go, Orrin Burks, who we forgot was even on the team last year because he sucked so bad. But
Jake Quellen.
Yeah, Jake Quellen, basically. Yeah, there's just so many. I don't trust Demetrius Knight Jr. To me, looked like it could be one of the worst draft picks we've ever had. He's a very one-dimensional linebacker. For being a second rounder, I'm not saying he's a terrible linebacker, but for a second-round pick, a pretty decent, not super high, but pretty decent mid-round, second-round pick. He's never going to be a standout guy. I think he's borderline starting potential down the road, but he's not the guy. And Barrett Carter, I think, has a higher ceiling, but a lower floor. So you're 2 guys that you're basically a scratch-off ticket that you're saying this is going to work out. It's putting all your salary into a scratch-off ticket and hoping it's going to hit. It seems stupid. Your liability in the middle of the defense is ridiculous. Nick?
Yeah, I mean, we need to pick up some linebackers. I don't care if free agency or in the draft. We need to pick up some guys that are going to be able to come in and perform, at least provide competition. At the end of the day, linebacking is going to be what makes or breaks our defense, because they're going to be the ones who are going to be taken care of whether or not we're having somebody being covered across the middle. So, I mean, historically, the Bengals just been bad at covering tight ends. I don't want the same trend to happen this year.
No. Burns, thoughts on this?
Well, I haven't seen anything about Orrin Burks coming back, so I think you were meaning Giles Harris is returning. He's on
he literally referenced him. Zach Taylor referenced Orrin Burks in a press conference or in a meeting at the coaches or not the owners' meetings. That's what baseball calls it, but whatever bullcrap they call it, owners' meetings.
The league meetings? I think it's called league meetings.
There we go. They had talked to Taylor at one point about that, and he's like, yeah, Oren Burks. I listened to it, and I was like, I didn't know Oren Burks was going to be back. But he thinks he is.
Yeah.
Well, jacket, gold jacket, who gives a crap?
Yeah, anyway. So I definitely believe that the linebacking core, it needs to be a little bit more competition across the board. However, I'm going to go complete opposite of Casey. I think Barrett Carter has the higher ceiling. Or excuse me, not Barrett Carter. No, pardon. Demetrius Knight has the higher ceiling. Barrett Carter is the one that I struggle with. Granted, he was the lower pick. He was later in the draft last year. I think he's talented. I think he would provide depth, but I don't think he's the starter. And the fact that our defense is relying, and Zach Taylor is relying on these two guys in year 2 to have a breakout year at the exact same time, it's just not mathematically possible. Like, you don't see that on any football team in the NFL history. So, yeah.
Let's just say on the off chance that they actually do both just have a breakout year. Okay. While it might not be mathematically possible, okay, while it may just be the most ridiculous statement anybody will ever make this year, let's say both Demetrius Knight and Barrett Carter both have just ridiculous years this year. But the defense sucks outside of them. And we go 5-12? Like, does Zach Taylor still have a job?
No.
Does Duke Tobin still have a job?
Yes.
Or it's probably not a should they. It's not a I don't think that I'm asking the question of whether or not Mike Brown and the crew are going to keep them around. It's more or less realistically, should they have a job realistically? And
they shouldn't have had a job in 2026 for either one of them. I agree. However, we are here. And so if you look at it from a Bengals standpoint, and I'm sure other podcasts would say the same, is that Zach Taylor is on a shorter leash than Duke Tobin ever is. Now, his may be 6 feet versus a 3-foot leash, but Duke Tobin has been in this organization since, 1999?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, so he's not going anywhere. The Brown Blackburn family have made it very abundantly clear there is no chance in hell that Duke Tobin's going anywhere. Zach Taylor, on the other hand, I think if it is a 5-12 season, he's done.
Oh, yeah.
I just don't see how. I just don't see in what world does Duke Tobin still have a job next year if we don't win some form of playoff game at least.
This world, because the ownership is stupid. There's no other way to say it. I get it. Loyalty is a big thing to me as well. Like I understand that loyalty, understanding with who you're working with. Those are big things. But at the same time, you need to be successful. If you want to make him, something else in whatever position you want to make him to keep him around, sure, you can do that. Put him in charge of the concession stands. I don't care. But you need an actual GM who can make decisions that's going to get your team to a winning position. You've wasted so much of Joe Burrow. I mean, when you think about the Hall of Fame caliber level players, not just now, but throughout Duke's time that he's basically wasted, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Just absolutely ridiculous. I don't know.
And we didn't retain them. Whitworth.
Yeah, well, Whitworth is one of them because we don't value old linemen. But
Jesse
that's
Bates.
What I'm really hoping, and I don't want to get back into the trays of our lives, as the Growler would say, but I hope Trey Hendrickson's not the next example of that, and he just creams us 2 games a year for the next couple of years and is has the best years of his career, because that's what seems to happen. The Bengals give up on a guy. I should say Cincinnati, period, gives up on a guy, and then he just shoves it in their face. Frank Robinson, there's another example in a different sport. He's washed up and he's old, and he goes out and wins Triple Crown and beats you in a World Series. Seems pretty dumb. But anyways, I digress about that. I don't know. The Bengals.
Trey's going to be hurt all next year.
That's what I'm
Trey's
hoping.
Trey's not even going to play 3 games.
As terrible as that sounds, that's what I want.
I am not as active on social media as I once was, but I have seen a lot of Ravens clout on their social media pages about Trey being there and the work that he's putting in now that their spring camps are open. And I'm just like, man, as much clout as you're giving him, I really hope it bites you in the ass. And I know I just used R2 and I apologize, but I really hope it does.
No, you're not wrong. No one that's if you're a real Bengals fan, maybe you're a better person than me. I don't know. I'll give you credit. There might be some good people that are Bengals fans out there who don't believe this. But I hope Trey's injured. I hope he's miserable. I hope his career sucks from here on out. Sorry. It is what it is. You don't leave that way. You just don't. You expect to have good vibes.
The Ravens are going to experience the Trey Hendrickson that we had to experience the past couple of years. The Trey Hendrickson who's either hurt or just complaining because the deal that he wanted wasn't on the table. Like, he's going to find something that he didn't like in the contract, and he's going to try to do something, whatever. He's going to try to find something stupid just to complain about, or he's just going to be hurt because Trey's been hurt the past couple of years. It just is what it is. Like, he's not the same caliber player that he once was. It just is what it is. Like, Whitworth is a different kind of player. When we were talking about whether or not we should keep Whit or not, we should have kept him because Big Whit was that good of a lineman. I mean, he was a Willie Anderson, potentially not as good, but up there with Anthony Munoz. We should have kept him. He is that big of a difference maker. And when you lose somebody like that, the leader in the locker room, when you lose someone like a Big Whit, that's demoralizing, especially to an offensive line that you're looking to bring in top caliber quarterback to throw to top caliber receivers. You need an experienced lineman like Big Whit on your line. Like OBJ, I don't know that he's going to be there. I don't know that he's going to be that guy. I don't know that Mims is going to be that guy. I mean, I hope Ted Karras is that guy, but God bless him if he gets hurt. Like, who's that guy on our line? We don't have him.
So I'm glad you brought that up because the Bengals also just released today that they cut Matt Lee, which now we have no depth at center because, oh, by the way, Lucas Patrick just signed with the New York Giants today. Or yesterday rather. So where are you going to go at center if, God forbid, something were to happen to Teddy K?
Who knows?
And Joe Burrow's going to snap himself the ball. That's what's going to happen.
7-on-7 practice kind of situation.
I'm assuming we're going to have a draft pick that's going to be another lottery pick center. We're going to say, okay, great. But, I mean, Matt Lee, did he even see the field? No.
Preseason.
Yeah, so that shows you right there, too. I mean, he was, a late 7th-round pick? So, okay, you can't really blame Duke for that. That is the definition of a dollar scratcher. You're just hoping for anything at that point. So I don't blame Duke for that one. But still, it's just bad. Like, you don't have any depth.
Yeah, I mean, contract extensions. I mean, who are we going to be extending? And yeah, I mean, why would we not be extending these guys already? Why would we not already have our 2 best defensive assets that we have had? Why don't we have their deals already signed going into the draft? This should be something we deal with now. No. There is an urgency behind this. Zach, what do you think?
Yeah, I think those 2 deals should have already been drafted in February when the season officially ended. So in a way, it was already done deal when it was past you, right? DJ Turner, Dax Hill, they're both proven to be reliable on the outside for you. And Dax could even move into the slot should you, decide to draft the top 10 quarterback, because that seems to be the idea at this point. Chase Brown is another one that comes to mind. A deal should have already been cut for him as well. Maybe they're still trying to figure out the defensive line, maybe a linebacker, which doesn't seem possible at this point, but who knows? I think you have to get those deals done either immediately after the draft or right now. I know we have like a couple more weeks until the draft happens, but you've got to get those deals done sooner rather than waiting until August and September, like we did last year or the last couple of years.
But they won't. That's just how they operate. I think that's where we're kind of getting at. In the off-season shows, we've kind of just hit a wall. I'm going to be honest with you, folks. It's only April. We need the draft to get here so we have more stuff to talk about because this has been Groundhog's Day. This is what, the third, fourth off-season in a row now where it's like we're talking about the same few topics and then making the same mistakes and them not doing something different about it. They were more aggressive in free agency at certain points, so that's awesome. Great job. But I don't know. To me, we want something more exciting. It's hard to be optimistic about the future because, again, glaring holes. There's glaring holes. Not as many. They've taken care of some of them. But the defense is 3 layers. And you've totally ignored one of the layers. And hope is not a strategy. So, I don't know.
Fortune favors the prepared. Fortune favors the prepared. And if you're not prepared come the season here in late August, early September, when it actually, the rubber meets the road, you got to be ready. You have to be ready. Casey, you make a great point. Zach makes a great point. These deals don't need to be you don't need to wait to do the deals. DJ and DJ Turner and Hill, why have we not signed their extensions? Just why? It doesn't make any sense. Get them signed, get it out of the way, get the distractions gone. Just make it happen. At the end of the day, just make the darn extension happen.
I was going to say, if we didn't learn anything from the Trey Hendrickson, Trays of Our Lives, or who was the safety I referenced earlier? Jesse Bates. If we didn't learn anything from those 2 moments, what are we doing? How can you say that you're all in when you can get the deals done now and get a hometown discount essentially for 2 guys that want to lead this defense and lead this secondary and will be proven assets?
I agree. You have to get it out of the way, get your assets signed, get them taken care of. It just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense.
Welcome to being a Bengals fan. Does not make any sense.
Speaking of not making any sense, we got some off-season banter to talk about.
Yay!
So I have just a PSA, a little public service announcement.
Ooh.
If you are a parent of a youth sports athlete, be your child's biggest fan.
Solid.
Do not be that person at a game or practice that causes problems. Do not be that person who shows up to games or practices to try to initiate any kind of bad behavior. Be respectful. Be the type of person, if you're a man, be the type of man that you want your player to be. If you're a woman, be the type of woman you want your player to be. If your child is a girl. And at the end of the day, be the type of person you want your kids to be. If you don't think it would be appropriate to yell and scream at other adults, if you don't think it'd be appropriate to talk smack to other people just to elicit bad behavior from somebody else, don't do that. Because your children mimic you. End of story.
Seems like Nick's got some experience with that.
Not me personally, but I've experienced other parents doing it, and it embarrasses their kids. Like, they don't realize what it's doing to their kids. Like, you're not showing up a coach, you're not showing up other parents. You know, you like, if you're talking on speakerphone, talking about some other kid, some other sport that your kid likes to play, and talking loudly so everybody in the world can hear you, like, you're not showing up anybody. You just make yourself look foolish.
Yeah, I don't think you're wrong there. So Nick had a not fun topic, relevant but not a fun off-season banter type topic, because I don't think Zach or I disagree with you at all. So there's not really any kind of...
No, it's just a public service announcement. That's it.
Burnsy, do you have a fun topic?
Burnsy, I moustache you a question. He's lost in his malaria world over there.
He's just stuck. I don't know. It's hard to come up with fun topics. I feel like we've hit a lot of topics here.
He's frozen again.
We don't do politics.
Can you at least hear me?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Now we can. You were muted.
Yes,
Yeah.
no, yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you.
You can hear me. I can't hear you.
All right, you're fired, Burnsy. You're fired. Just go ahead and make it in the notes, Nick. He's fired.
I'm going to need to ASL.
And for those who do understand ASL, you're probably laughing right now.
Oh, God. BRB.
He's going to BRB. So while he's BRBing, we're going to go ahead and move on to the next topic. We don't do politics, but we can do history. Top 3 favorite presidents. Go, Nick.
Now, George Washington, for obvious reasons. Setting the standard for what a leader should do. Step down so you don't assume all power.
Yeah.
Second, Abraham Lincoln. All right. First Republican to ever be in office. Freed the slaves. Emancipation Proclamation. I mean, the Gettysburg Address. Should I name more?
You can if you want to, but I think you're hitting the highlights pretty well.
I mean, Abraham Lincoln, literally, how do you not like him and you're American? Literally just awesome. Third, Teddy Roosevelt.
Well, I'm going to have a different order than you, but it's basically the same 3. So I'm going to try to those would be my top 3. I have to find some.
Oh, we were supposed to pick them in order?
Sure. Go with an order.
Oh, Abraham Lincoln, because he freed the slaves. That's like the dark history of the United States, and we got out of it. Then George Washington, then Teddy.
Okay. Well, Teddy is my favorite president. Absolute favorite. Knocks out big business. Makes a lot of social reforms. Starts the national parks. And he's an awesome guy. The first celebrity president. Not that that's a big deal, but the fact that he could motivate so many people. And like George Washington, initially didn't run for a 3rd term so that he wouldn't feel like he was trying to be a king. So, yeah, Teddy's awesome. Lincoln and Washington are right there. But I'm going to try to come up with some other guys who make good choices, that aren't so obvious, I guess would be the word I would go with there. But really, when you think about it, once you leave those 3, there's definitely some interesting topics. I'd say Jefferson would be a good president because Louisiana Purchase, expanded a lot of the territory in the U.S.
John Adams, both of them.
Yeah, so the early guys, there's a lot of good movement because a lot of stuff was going on. Now, controversial
fathers, no big deal.
Controversial guy would have been like Andrew Jackson. So he had the terrible thing with the Native Americans, but otherwise he did a lot of good things for the country. Seems like a lot of black eyes for most of the presidents, especially pre 1920.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of black eyes there, because there was something you did that was no longer socially acceptable by today's standards. But yeah, I'll just stick with the few I've talked about here. Zach, do you have any other presidents other than the obvious top three?
I'd like to go. Well, depending on who you say the top three was, I don't know who you said.
Washington, Lincoln, and TR.
Teddy.
Okay, I like it. I think I go Thomas Jefferson. I would go JFK. Controversial pick, I know. And I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna go Reagan. I think Reagan did well in the 80s. Again, another controversial pick, and depending on which side.
Not a big fan of his war on. Not a big fan of his war on drugs because it's like a never-ending war. But
just say no.
I think
that's what Nancy told us. She said, "Just say no."
Yeah, she should have listened to her own advice. So we started a war on something that is a never-ending war. Literally, there should have been a better strategy behind it.
Okay, we're borderline going from history to politics here. We gotta keep it pure history.
This is pure history.
It never ends, is what you said, which means it's also relevant to modern day. So we gotta
ridiculous.
Keep it history.
History repeats itself. I wouldn't say FDR was too terrible. Not a big fan of the social security system though that he implemented.
FDR internment camps were my big one that I'm not a fan of.
Yeah. Not a big fan of the Japanese
internment camps. Well, Japanese Americans, put in internment camps. They weren't Japanese people; they're Americans.
They're Americans. They just happen to have some heritage from there.
Yeah.
Eisenhower,
interstate system.
I
like that. So that's a good one. He kind of flies under the radar because he didn't do anything overly flashy. But the interstate system. Thanks, Ike.
Bill Clinton didn't do too terrible, except for the obvious couple under the desk radar things.
Student loans. That's what I don't even care about is whatever. It's the student loan. You can't get denied for a student loan. That's why we're in the problem that we have now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But again,
politics.
That's politics. But realistically,
save us. We're going down to politics here. Save us with the new topic.
He kept us out of some wars that we probably could have gotten into. But
yep, and a new topic because we're politics.
Oh my gosh, Nicholas! All right, I want to talk about.
Trying to be fair, both sides. I was trying to be fair, both sides. I wasn't trying to talk bad about.
Listen,
good people on both sides.
Nick,
6-7. Let's talk about this 6-7 thing. What in the world does it even mean?
See, now we're going to touch on another forbidden. We would touch on another forbidden topic if you really want to dive into it, and I'm not going to do that. Not on this show. Okay.
I don't even know what it means.
We know you're just not cool. You're not hip with what the kids talk about.
I mean, it's. Yes. I'm on the ground and it's like an F-22 Raptor just over my head.
Yeah, no. Nick is now muted for the next 5 minutes.
Yes. Around the horn mute button. 8 points deducted for everything.
And Zach's audio is now gone. Now I can't hear you.
Oh,
now
Nick muted me.
Yeah, oh, that's hilarious.
Nick decided he thought he'd be so funny.
I guess it's my topic again. Okay.
What was that, Bernsey? How's it feel to not be in control?
I'm never
the new
in
social
control.
media guy right here. I'm just kidding. I'm not the tech guy. I'm not the tech guy.
Anyway,
he's the least tech guy out of this entire operation.
I'm lucky I know how to press the go button and stop button.
Although the Reds are 8-3, can we talk about their lackluster of bats on this roster? At least in the starting nine that we continuously decide to put out there. TJ Friedel, 131. McLean, 238. Ellie's up to 250. Stewart is hitting 351. So no issues there. Suarez, 195. Will Benson, 227. Steer, 166. Stevenson, 148. Marte, 125. Key Brian Hayes, 107.
Sounds like all-stars to me.
Oh, by the way, I think like 4 of these guys also lead the league in strikeouts.
Yeah. Not glorious, I'll say that much.
Yeah.
What about they're 8-3 though? That means the pitching is doing really well. The pitching is picking up where the hitting lacks. And it also means that if we're winning ball games and they have such a bad batting average, probably getting some timely hits.
So they've scored 2 runs in 4 of their 11 games at this point.
And they won.
And they won. Which is kind of crazy.
They had more runs than the other team. That's all that matters.
I agree. Not disagreeing.
How long can that last?
Exactly. How can
180 games?
Well, can it though? So, I mean, Abbott 5 1/3 today, 6 hits, 2 earned runs, only 2 strikeouts. So not his most dominant performance. But he seems to be doing a little bit better than he did in the first inning against Paul Skeens. I texted you guys before the game, right at the beginning of the 4th inning, and I was probably premature, and I broke a bunch of unwritten rules in baseball. And I said, I feel like this is the Jose Rio Greg Maddux game because it was 7-12, and they were already in the 4th inning. And I'm like, wait a minute, what am I watching here? This is actually pretty exciting. Thought we were getting a nice pitching duel, and then that's when it kind of fell off. Oh, speaking of falling off, so
I did not boot him. He was lagged out on my screen, so
nice.
It was not me.
I could still hear him.
It's not me.
So,
his video had him sitting like this in his chair. It was like that for a solid minute and a half for me.
Well, I mean, maybe he was just sitting like that, like that's.
He does like to sit in one spot and not move.
Yeah. Just gonna say.
Hey, there he is.
We're gonna talk about it. Oh, is he back?
We were just talking about you, Casey, about how you like to sit in one spot, and just not move, especially your spot, like you're sitting now, where you just sit there with your shoulders like this, and then you just talk and you don't move.
I realized I was frozen. I don't think I've moved or anybody's moved in a while. Maybe I'll refresh the screen and see if that fixes it.
You sit there just emotionless. Just.
I'm glad it's not just me tonight. When it's just me, I feel like a dirtbag. And then, Kate joins the party.
I must ask you a question, Zachary.
Ish.
I would like to see you fully clean shaven.
Absolutely not. If I'm going to have something, I'd rather it just be the mustache at this point. I mean, granted, I would much rather have the beard. I was in my sexy Dexy because I'm willing it that the trade is going to happen, even if it costs us the 10th pick. Right? But,
oh my God.
No facial hair is worse than just having the mustache, in my opinion.
All right. Any other off-season banner topics before you say our final thoughts?
Nah. I think we're good. So who wants to go first?
I'll go first. If you haven't noticed, there's a little banner at the bottom of the screen. Be sure to like, follow, subscribe, and share across all of our social media platforms. You can find us at Talkin_Bengals at all of our social media handles. You can also find us at TalkinBengals.com, or you can search Etsy for CZN Enterprises for our awesome stuff on CZN Enterprises Etsy store. You can also check out Dubby Energy. Type in that promo code TBCFB10 for 10% off at dubby.gg. The reason why I did that, obviously, because Burnsy likes to lag out, so figured it'd be a good little boost in the, I don't know. Anyways, hope to God they do something in the draft, and hope to God they get the Hill and Turner signed on their extensions. Hooday.
I like it. Burnsy, go ahead. Don't plug the socials. It's already been done, so I don't know what you're going to talk about.
I really don't know. I don't know what to do with my hands again. You know.
Keep them down here.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, it's gonna be an interesting couple of weeks as we prep for the draft. Hopefully, like I said, Dexter Lawrence would booster the defense. That would prove to me that they're going all in, as they continuously like to tell us all off season so far. So there's that. Again, the extensions would also be nice as well. Other than that, tax day is right around the corner, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't sent them in, the Postal Service said they are not date stamping that stuff. So you better hopefully get it in now rather than waiting till April 15th. So
we are not tax professionals.
I am not a tax professional. I am just trying to do my due diligence to help you not end up in a situation that you rather not be in when it comes to taxes and the IRS.
The more you know. Also, it's 2026, so get a computer. If you're mailing in your returns, you may want to think about your life choices.
I thought you were going at Zach.
You what?
Well, yeah, we should say that too. Zach, it's 2026. Get a better computer.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still operating off my 2019. Actually, it's my wife's 2019 MacBook because I have a 2017. So, which operates way slower.
Oh,
than
God bless you.
Off of.
Oh, God bless you, Birdsey.
Hey, it gets schoolwork done, so that's all that matters. It sometimes works on this podcast.
Yeah, and that's where we're at. My final thoughts. I don't know. At this point, just don't die, people. Safety brief style. Don't do anything dumb. And we'll see you next week.
Yeah.
Hooday.
Goodbye.
Hooday.
Hooday.